I'm hanging here like a cow.
Yeah.
Get me out of this fire.
Yeah.
There's fire.
It's all right, they're coming. They're coming.
Nico Hülkenberg, 239 starts.
Podium, P3 baby.
Imagine a driver so talented that in junior categories he racked up championships. Yet in the pinnacle of racing, his victories never came. Nico Hülkenberg burst onto the Formula One scene in 2010 at age 22. In his rookie year with Williams, he stunned everyone by grabbing pole position at the Brazilian Grand Prix, a vivid signal of raw speed. Yet that race ended in a first corner crash, a cruel turn for the rookie. For over 15 seasons and 239 Grand Prix starts, he would achieve no wins. In fact, for many years, he held the unwanted record of starting more races than any other driver without so much as an F1 podium. As one profile noted, after 15 years, he's yet to win or even score a podium. Despite that drought, his numbers are strong. 181 race starts and 521 points in his career. He even earned one pole, Brazil 2010, and scored a memorable victory at the 2015 24 Hours of Le Mans. This career feels like an entire saga of near misses. Hülkenberg himself has joked about it. When he reached the dubious milestone of most starts without a podium, he quipped that it just signaled the start of the Hülkenberg era. He refused to be broken by it. In fact, he laughed it off and said he just laughs about it now. It's just life. Hopefully, it returns the other way a favor. Such humor and hardship endeared him to fans. He became known not as a loser, but as an enduring underdog. As the years passed, media and fans often called him the unluckiest driver in F1 history, highlighting that he had led dozens of laps, 43 in total, without a single win. By mid-2025, after nearly a quarter century on track, that moniker still stung, even as many secretly wished the courageous German would one day prove it wrong. Shooting star at Williams. Hülkenberg's talent shone early. In his first Formula One season, 2010 with Williams, he mastered tricky conditions and claimed pole position in Brazil, an exceptional feat for a rookie. It was a sign that he could compete at the front. Unfortunately, luck intervened. A collision and car damage on lap 1 wrecked any chance of victory. In that race, his potential win went begging with a cut tire, a heartbreaking loss for the young German. He finished that Brazilian Grand Prix none the wiser to life's harsh twist. Yet even after this disappointment, he showed resilience. The next year, Williams decided to go a different direction, and Hülkenberg sat out 2011. He returned in 2012 with Force India, eager to prove that Brazilian pole was no fluke. He became known for always outperforming the machinery given to him. Bullet. In his Williams debut year, Nico Hülkenberg set a remarkable pole position in Brazil, signaling his raw speed. But a first-lap crash robbed him of what might have been a fairy tale victory. Force India and the 2012 heartbreak. With Force India in 2012, Hülkenberg truly began to fight for podiums. He drove like a man on a mission. In Brazil, 2012, he charged from 7th on the grid to take the lead of the Grand Prix, holding first place for 30 laps against the fastest cars on the grid. The crowd witnessed a possible breakthrough as Hülkenberg looked poised to achieve his dream. Then fate struck again. He spun in the rain, clipped Lewis Hamilton, and fell down the order, ultimately classified 5th. The thunder in Brazil had turned into a nightmare. It was one of many dramatic near misses. Later that year, at the German Grand Prix, he finished 4th, just off the podium once more. Force India teammate Paul Di Resta actually termed Hülkenberg incredible on his day. Yet the right breaks never came. Through all these ups and downs, he remained humble. He even joked that the legendary Brazilians would have to find a new first name for him. No matter what, it's pronounced Nico, not Nico, or Nico. Hülkenberg's mentality was inspiring. He refused to cry about the bad luck, instead staying determined. As a sports journalist wrote in 2020, the man with the most race starts without a podium was still smiling, facing fans, and living the dream. Sauber, Le Mans, and racing triumphs. 2013 to 2014 again saw Hülkenberg in Force India cars, frequently scoring solid points but still no podiums. In 2015, he switched to Sauber. That year, he experienced a rare taste of racing victory off the F1 track. Hülkenberg raced in the World Endurance Championship and won the 24 Hours of Le Mans at the first attempt. Standing on that podium at Le Mans showed the world the champion inside him. Yet back in F1, he remained on the hunt for a podium of a different kind. Over 2015 and into 2016, he became the center of media stories every season due to his winless streak. But he treated it with stoic humor. He was never one to sit silently. If reporters asked about the drought, he often shrugged it off. The Formula One website noted that reaching the unwanted record of most starts without a podium, he laughed it off as the start of the Hülkenberg era. Nico's attitude stayed positive. After another near miss, he'd say, "It's been a long time coming, hasn't it?" and grin, as if willing the win to appear sooner or later. Fans found his honesty and grit inspiring. Renault years, so close. In 2017, Hülkenberg joined Renault, formerly Lotus F1. The team hoped his experience would help develop their car, and many agreed. He proved an excellent qualifier. But still, the hardware wasn't quite at championship level. Race after race, he ran competitively, only to miss out by the smallest margins. For example, by 2019, he had finished in fourth place multiple times. 3 times was his career best, tantalizingly close to a podium. A Formula One feature described how, over his long career, he had been thwarted a number of times, citing his many missed opportunities. On the track, moments like delivering fourth place in Australia 2019, when Daniel Ricciardo won, or finishing just outside the medals in various races became routine. Critics had piled on Hülkenberg, often using his lack of a podium as ammunition. As ESPN reported, his failure to score even one podium had been a stick critics had used to beat him with for years. The German just accepted it. He rarely complained about bad luck publicly. Instead, he kept doing his job. Through these seasons, his consistency was a positive. Renault boss Cyril Abiteboul said he always brought back points and kept his car on track. The media noted it felt like Nico Hülkenberg will never win, but fans admired how he still fought every lap. The pandemic season and super sub. When COVID-19 hit in 2020, Hülkenberg became a hero in a crisis. Ferrari's Sergio Perez caught the virus before the Bahrain GP, and the call went out for a quick replacement. Nico answered for Racing Point, formerly Force India. With no time to prepare, he leapt in and immediately delivered. In qualifying, he snatched a surprise pole on the grid after the 2 leading drivers crashed out. In the race, another cruel twist saw him spin into a wall on lap 3 after clipping a loose manhole cover. Yet another heartbreak when it seemed the win was his. That bizarre incident only deepened his legend as the luckless giant. He kept racing as a super sub, standing in again for Perez at Sakir and later for Sebastian Vettel in the first 2 races of 2022. Each time, Hülkenberg more than held his own. For instance, at Jeddah 2022, he finished P12 and even out-qualified full-time Aston driver Lance Stroll. His performances proved he had not lost his speed. Aston Martin officials praised him. One called his stint faultless. All this while, he maintained perspective. Vettel himself said Hülkenberg is an extremely tough competitor and never a threat to his future seating. Yet the German's stock was rising once more. Fans admired how he stayed ready, humble, and competitive even without a permanent ride. Back to full-time racing, Haas and beyond. In 2023, after 5 years as a stand-in, Nico Hülkenberg earned a full-time seat again, this time with Haas F1 team. It was a homecoming of sorts. He had never really left the grid, as he quipped. With Haas, he partnered Kevin Magnussen and immediately helped develop the car. Although the Haas was a backmarker, Hülkenberg's results were solid. He scored points in several races, including an impressive P5 finish at Barcelona 2025. This performance caught even Red Bull's eye. The team's Dr. Helmut Marko admitted Nico had been in the running for a Red Bull seat earlier in his career. Statistics. By 2025, he had amassed 521 points without a win, and still had only a single career pole. His peers respected him deeply. In June 2025, former champion Ralf Schumacher praised Hülkenberg's super speed and said that if the German continued to deliver results, he'll certainly stay for a while, a rare compliment that this veteran still had the speed. Audi, who acquired Sauber, even signed him to a multi-year contract, citing his experience and consistency. Triumph at Silverstone. After so many seasons of knocking on the door, Hülkenberg's moment finally arrived at the 2025 British Grand Prix, Silverstone. In a wet-dry thriller, the 37-year-old starter from 19th on the grid brilliantly navigated chaotic conditions to finish third, his first ever F1 podium. The achievement was extraordinary. On his 239th start, and 15 years after his debut, Nico had ended one of the sport's most infamous records. He battled wheel-to-wheel with championship veterans in awful weather and survived a last-minute charge from Lewis Hamilton on the final lap. After the race, an emotional Hülkenberg said, "It's been a long time coming, hasn't it?" and admitted he still felt surreal. The response was overwhelming. Thousands of fans who had waited years cheered him, teammates, rivals, and even the press celebrated this deserving breakthrough. Described it perfectly. He finally stood on the podium as an F1 driver, after countless near misses. In that moment, the label Unluckiest lost its sting. Nico had silenced the doubters and proved his mantra true. He always had the speed and heart. The inspirational legacy. Nico Hülkenberg's journey is more than a tale of bad luck. It's the story of perseverance. Race after race, year after year, he never gave up. He often spoke candidly about feeling he had one podium somewhere in me and never stopped fighting for it. Fans admired that spirit. Over the years, media outlets have run countless tributes. One headline asked, "Is Nico Hülkenberg the unluckiest man in F1 history?" and concluded that even podiums he longed for had slipped away. Yet after Silverstone, he was greeted with headlines like, "Hülkenberg revels in incredible maiden podium," and "Nico's long wait is over." Now, with a podium and countless points finishes, he has become a folk hero of sorts, proof that persistence pays off. As he prepares for the rest of his career, Hülkenberg's example inspires a generation of drivers. Stay patient, work hard, and one day even the unluckiest may taste victory. And maybe that's the real story. Not a curse, but a choice. Nico Hülkenberg chose to keep showing up. Through rain and heartbreak, through contracts that vanished and podiums that slipped away, he kept turning the wheel and trusting the lap ahead. Because in Formula One, luck can make a moment, but character makes a career. If you felt that, do one thing for the driver who never stopped believing. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so this story reaches more F1 fans. Then tell me in the comments, was Nico the unluckiest man in F1? Or the toughest? And if you want more, tap the video on your screen next. Brazil, 2012. The day talent met fate. To see the race that defined his legend. This is the grid where fortunes flip in a heartbeat. And as long as there's one more corner, one more lap, one more start, there's always a chance.